Hey, what is happening, you Kirkland brand character? And I've got a crazy deck for you guys, and I'm so excited because it's just so much fun. And I'm not done working on this deck yet, but I thought I'd bring you my current iteration of it because it's so crazy, so wild, and I want to get it out there to you guys so you guys can come up with different ways to kind of work on this crazy Arceus deck and try some different things out yourselves. Okay, so Arceus is the main attacker, basically the only attacker in the deck. And you look at the list over here, we got a bunch of different support Pokemon in here. We've got a 3/3 B-Barrel for draw support, for continuous draw support. And Cincino, I definitely want to try out Cincino, but B-Barrel has felt pretty good so far, but I definitely want to try out Cincino. Of course, Arceus, if you don't know what it does, 280 HP, Trinity Nova, 200 damage, search your deck for 3 basic energy, and attach them to your V Pokemon any way you like. And then the Star Birth ability, search your deck for any 2 cards. You can only use 1 V-Star power, of course, per game. So usually you combo Arceus with something because you're searching for those 3 basic energies, so you may as well combo with something that you can set up. But this deck specifically is more focused on just using Arceus as our main attacker and kind of healing it. We still accelerate energy into play, but we just accelerate to our other Arceus. Yveltal in here with Cry of Destruction. So we play 4 DTE, which is the double turbo energy, and Yveltal's in here for the Mew matchup. If they get a little bit too aggressive, get a little bit out of line, put too many Fusion Strike energy in play, we want to punish them with the Yveltal. And it's super easy to set up an early Yveltal play with that Star Birth ability. Super easy, because if we draw like Quick Ball, Ultra Ball, or Yveltal, or a DTE, or an Air Balloon, Star Birth finds the other 2 cards, and we got a Yveltal in our active, discarding 3 Fusion Strike energy, and kind of just destroying the Mew player. So super good for the Mew matchup. And then the other couple guys we got in here, we got a Dunsparce with that mysterious Nest. Our colorless Pokemon don't have weakness, so we're no longer weak to fighting. And we've got a Manaphy in here that protects our bench from snipes from like Jolteon or Urshifu. And I also do play an Ordinary Rod, so if either of these guys get KO'd, we can recover them with the Ordinary Rod. And then the last couple, we got the Luminion V, just to help us find an early draw support and make sure we don't, start dead draw. We do play 4 Quick Ball, 4 Ultra Ball, so that's a lot of extra outs to potentially seeing a draw supporter on the turn. So, if we open a Quick Ball or an Ultra Ball, but no draw supporter, if we don't play Luminion, that's like 8 outs that can't become draw supporters. But now that we play the Luminion, so many more outs, just making sure we don't dead draw. And then Guru's in here with the Primate Wisdom, help us protect cards from our opponent's Marnies. There's a really cool combo I'm going to get into a little bit later that it helps us set up with our Arceus. And the main supporter that we use to get ahead in matchups and stay ahead is the Charon's Care, which allows us to pick one of our colorless Pokemon, that has any damage counters on it, and then we put that Pokemon in our hand with all the cards attached to it. So we pick up an Arceus after it's been hit, we get all the cards back, and do that. And the draw supporters in the deck, we got 3 Research, 3 Marnie, we got 4 Ultra Ball, 4 Quick Ball, 2 Evolution Incense in here as well to help us find the B-Barrels and the Arceus V-Star a little bit more consistently. I got 1 Collapsed Stadium in here, and this is just kind of to discard. Sometimes it damaged Arceus, but most of the time our Luminion. We just don't want any Pokemon in play that our opponent can kind of take a knockout on. Like maybe they get a knockout on an early Arceus V, and then they knock out the Luminion, and then they finally get a knockout on a V-Star before we can win the game. So the Collapse Stadium helps us either, effectively heal an Arceus V-Star, or just kind of discard a Luminion so our opponent can't chase it ever, or even maybe an Arceus V that gets stuck in play. So Collapse Stadium's there to clean up our bench. Like I mentioned, 3 Marnie, 3 Research for the draw supporters, 2 Boss's Orders, 1 Melanie in here. Now, this is in here because if, let's say we go first, we attach our Arceus, but our opponent has like the turn 2 knockout on our Arceus. If they get that kind of play, we have the Melanie in here to kind of be like, okay, with comboed with, hopefully we got a second Arceus V in play. Now we can use the Star Rebirth, use the Melanie, and hopefully still pull off a turn 2 Trinity Nova through a Melanie. Raihan might be a little bit better. I'm not too sure. Currently, it's a Melanie, and if we went to any other energy type besides water, we'd have to go with Raihan, but currently it's a Melanie, and that's pretty good. Got a couple big charms in here. We want to keep our Pokemon nice and tanky, especially up against Mew VMAX. That can be a matchup where we really need to make sure our Vs and V-Stars are tanky enough to be taking those hits from the Mew deck, or even up against, like, I don't know, there's like a lot of situations. It's just nice to be tanky. We do still have 2 Choice Belts in here as well, so we have a little bit of a mix of the tool cards depending on the matchup and the situation. Allows us to take KOs on any Vs with 210 HP through the Arceus. And with this build specifically, because we accelerate or not this build specifically, but with Arceus in general, because we accelerate energy into play, and we do play basic waters in here, 4 basic water, 4 DTE, and we also 4 capture energy. We're not too heavily invested in the basic energy side of things, but we still play 4, and the combo we can kind of pull off with Guru here is if we have the energy in the hand, we can put it back in the deck with Guru, search it back out with Arceus in general. But in the later stages of the game, when we get Charon's Care involved, let's say we have an Arceus V-Star on the active with the DTE, with the water energy. They hit it, we Charon's Carrot into the active. Then we can, you know, send them to the next RCSV, evolve it to the V-Star, maybe attach a DT, and then we can Primate Wisdom that water back into the deck and then search it back out of the deck with the Trinity Nova from the Arceus. So that combo with the Guru is super sick. So that's our energy count. 4 GT, 4 water, 4 capture. It does feel a little bit heavy sometimes, so I'm going to probably try and cut it down a little bit, but we really do not want to miss a turn one attachment. We really do not want to miss a turn one attachment. It's pretty bad for us to miss a turn one attachment. I've also thought instead of maybe setting up 2 B barrel every game, maybe go 1 B barrel and play something like a Meowth that discards cards from our hand, helps us thin out our deck more aggressively at some point. So that's like another consideration. Another thing I'm thinking about. Trying to add so many things to try out, though. So many things to try out. I think that's it. I think that's all I want to talk about. I was talking about something, but I forgot what it was. Oh, yeah, the Melly's helpful. You know, help us get back into the game if we whiff the attack. But I think that's it. That's the list. Like I said, there's a lot to work on with this, but this deck is just so much fun and so cool, and there's so many ways. And I've changed it so much since I started playing with it on the stream the other day. Twitch.tv/AzulGG. I stream every day except Mondays, and I'm always trying out and playing with new and different decks, and especially since Brilliant Stars is here, there's a whole bunch of stuff to try out and play around with. So if you guys want to see me making these decks, you know, from the start and playing with them, twitch.tv/AzulGG. I stream every day except Mondays. First link in the description. Give it a click and give it a follow. And I think that's it. I think that's all I got to say about the list. Let's go ahead and let's get into it so I can show you guys how it actually works and functions. So let's do that. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to give a like. Enjoy the content here. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell. And let's play some Arceus. Got that coin flipped up, and we will be going first. Gonna look for that turn to Arceus here. Ideally, a turn to B-Bailer as well. And the opening hand got the Bidoofs. Got a quick ball for an Arceus, but do not have any energy, actually. Sort of things can get a little bit awkward. This is actually why, not the only reason why, but where the Melony can be helpful. There's the energy. Okay. Yeah, where the Melony can potentially be helpful. But we do get the energy off the top deck, so we can bench another Bidoof. And then quick ball away I almost want to go with the Luminian V here. I might need that to find. I don't want to lose a boss, to be honest. So I might go with the Ordinary Rod. Yeah, let's go with the Ordinary Rod. I mean, I don't love it, but I don't hate it, I guess. Gonna grab the Arceus. Throw that down. An energy. Then end turn. Let's see if my opponent can get off that turn 1 knockout with Mew. Now, we do play the Yveltal, like I mentioned, that we can use to remove a lot of our opponent's energy from play, potentially, in this matchup. And we don't have that play set up quite yet. Of course, we do have the Arceus V-Star, which can search, you know, any 2 cards out of our deck. So if we go like Luminian, I do want to keep the boss's orders around. I do find that boss is pretty important and pretty consistently in this game to have like as an option. So I don't want to like research away the boss. So we'll probably go for a Marnie here, I think. We'll probably go for a Marnie here, yeah. And then, you know, hopefully find one of the pieces if we do want to go the Yveltal route. Of course, it all just depends on what my opponent does as well. They might not even get off a turn 1 attack, and then the boss actually becomes really, really good, because then we could get like, you know, DTE plus a air balloon or something, and then boss KO something on my opponent's side of the field. So that could be just really, really good for us. But wait and see what they actually get off on this first turn and what they attack with. If they just go with the Meloetta, we might just KO Meloetta. But I still might go the Yveltal route, to be honest, if they get off the Meloetta. With the there's a Fusion Strike energy though, so that makes me want to go. There's a Fusion Strike energy. So this is gonna be, yeah, we're gonna use Yveltal for sure. If they even attack with Psychic Leap, but I imagine they probably don't want a Psychic Leap here, because then that would mean, you know, our Arceus can just knock out the Mew, which is now what we're gonna look for, is Arceus KO Mew here. I think for sure. They could do like some other plays where they could like still use the Elsa Sparkle. Now that they've attached to the Mew, they can't attack with Meloetta on the first turn. So they could still go with the Psychic Leap. They could go with, you know, Elsa Sparkle to both Mews, and they have one Mew set up. And then I have to decide, do I want to remove all their energy from play with the Yveltal, or do I just want to take the knockout on the Mew V? And actually, to be honest, I'm not too sure which one of those 2 plays I would rather do. I'm actually a little bit conflicted. So yeah, we'll wait and see how my opponent's turn ends. We still don't know how their turn is going to end. So we got to wait and see that for sure. And then we'll decide. There's a head, so I feel like this has to be getting an Elsa Sparkle here from my opponent, which definitely makes me want to go down that Yveltal route. I feel like that has to be an Elsa Sparkle here from my opponent. Yeah, I would be very surprised if it wasn't. Now, here comes the Elsa Sparkle. Now, they're probably going to split the... If they do go 2 energy on the active, knocking out the active here is very enticing. But still, using the Yveltal here would remove more energy from play, which makes me still tempted to go with the Yveltal route, to be honest, to try and get the Yveltal play off. Of course, they don't have that guaranteed. Knocking out their active, I do have guaranteed set up here. They're going with the Psychic Leap. They could go back to the deck now to try and protect their energy. As well, they could run to the deck, actually. But it looks like they're not. So, yeah, I could just knock out their active here with the Arceus, or I could look for the Yveltal play and remove 3 energy from play. Definitely conflicted on what I want to do here. Removing 3 energy from play is super tempting. And then forcing my opponent to probably attack into a Yveltal for the turn. Oh boy, is it tempting. Oh boy, is it tempting. I think I'm going to go for it too. I think I'm going to go for the Yveltal play here. I could still pull off the knockout. Like, depending on what we draw, I could still go for the knockout instead. So we're going to go Marnie here with the Luminion. But removing that extra energy from play, that almost feels like how we win this game. We kind of run them out of energy in play before what's it called even happens, before we even draw all 6 of our prize cards. And it's all here, so we're gonna go ahead and grab the Marnie. We're gonna play the Marnie. It lets us save the boss. Like I said, the bosses feel super important in this matchup. Definitely like a card I might want to consider putting a 3rd in of is the boss, or maybe a Pal Pad, because that could also recover other stuff like more Charons and so on. So got the air balloon, so we can do it, and we actually even got the Ultra Ball, so we could even Ultra Ball and get a B Barrel online. So this hand is just sick. I think I'm gonna go with the Yveltal play just because it is so cool. Yeah, the Starbirth. Yeah, it is just a really cool play. I'm not sure. Not sure if it's correct here, to be honest. But you know, when something is this cool, how could it not be correct? You know. And then I'm gonna Ultra Ball and get rid of the Dunsparce and the Capture Energy, and we can get ourselves that B Barrel. And we're gonna be able to draw 5 with the B Barrel here. And get another Arceus down, which is great because we want to get those into, you know, the V-Stars as soon as possible. Get those into the V-Stars as soon as possible. Pretty solid draw. Got some options for the next turn. And there's the concede. The Yveltal was going to be coming in. And that's why the Yveltal is just so good in this deck, is because it's so consistent to pull it off. That's usually one of the problems with the card, is how do you pull it off? But when you got that Starbirth ability, any 2 cards becomes any kind of play. And that's one of those plays. Here we go again. Tails on this one, so it looks like we'll probably be going second, of course, unless my opponent is playing Mew VMAX potentially, and they want to go second themselves, but otherwise they're probably going to be going first. So let's see what our opponent's got here. Maybe it will be another Mew VMAX. You will go first. Okay, so probably Mew VMAX. I can't think of a deck that where you'd want to choose to go second besides Mew VMAX. Opening hand is not great. I think it's going to be the Dunsparce start here. So opening hand, not great, unless we are able to find a way to get an Arceus. It looks like Lucky Energy. Oh, so it looks like we're up against Blissey, actually. I don't know. Well, we have Yveltal, but I have a feeling Yveltal is not going to be that great in this. We could use it to maybe slow them down, to be honest, until we set up, but I don't think I'm going to want to be using Yveltal. There's B-Barrel. I don't really want to use Yveltal. I want to be attacking. It's just like not that great. I don't actually know what I want to do here. Okay, Yveltal is still a nice option, so I think I throw it down here. Attach the Capture, and I'm gonna go ahead and grab myself. I mean, I gotta go with the Arceus here, right? I think I gotta go with the Arceus here. Yveltal might be a nice option later on, but for right now, that's sort of my opponent. Yeah, we could go with you know, the Arceus V Star, and then, or the Arceus V and use Trinity Charge. Which Trinity Charge is just like so slow and unnecessary to go with though early on. Like, I don't know. We also are losing this early prize card of the Dunsparce to my opponent, which I don't like as well. Definitely not ideal. We want to get to that Charon's Care as soon as possible. Definitely want to get to the Charon's Care as soon as possible. So I think we should send the Yveltal to the active to kind of just like let it get knocked out. It stinks to like lose as many prize cards this early on, but I just don't see a better route here, to be honest. I just don't see a better route. There's the Alistar. Yeah, we could use something like the Yveltal here off the start, but I don't know. It doesn't make a whole ton of sense to me. We try to get into the Arceus as soon as possible, and we're a little ways away from that. To be honest. But maybe I do want to use a Arceus. Maybe I do want to use the Trinity to try and set up this turn. We top decked the... to set up a little bit more. I could just capture out... a Bidoof. Evolve. And then maybe just pass, because I kind of like my hand. It has the B-Barrel, it has a Marnie. I could just play the Marnie this turn. I could go B-Barrel Marnie next turn. Although I do want to draw more cards. That way, yeah, okay, let's just draw some more cards this turn, actually. The B-Barrel is nice, but I think I'll be okay with letting the B-Barrel slip away here. Don't like the idea of losing my Ordinary Rod. We don't have that much stuff discarded yet. We might not discard that much stuff later in the game. So go ahead and pass over to my opponent and see what they got. They will be knocking out my Yveltal here. And they'll be taking that early prize lead, but we're going to start swinging finally on this next turn. And then start building up some new Arceus here finally. Finally start building up some Arceus. We could also Ordinary Rod back the Yveltal, to be honest, and get that back in the deck just in case we want it for later. And then, yeah, then I got to figure out what I want to prioritize on Big Charms versus the choice belts in this matchup. Yeah, what do I want to prioritize? Here comes the Blissful Blast. It's not going to be recovering a total ton of energy, though. Yeah, no energy out of the discard pile, though. So you'll love to see that for us. And we'll get our attack off this turn. All right, things are looking a little bit cleaner. Yeah, I'll put the Yveltal back in the deck just in case I want it for later. And then I don't really have any great Ultra Ball targets. So just going to go ahead and Quick Ball away the Ultra Ball. Grab myself another Arceus to work with. And there's no real threat of anything being knocked out this turn. Like I said, I'm going to get that Yveltal back. Probably don't need the Dunsparce, so I'm not going to grab that. So just the Yveltal. And then Research and then attack probably. And I probably won't even use a Starbirth. Just going to save that for a future turn. And that's always the best, is when you don't have to Starbirth early on at all and you save it for a future turn, something later on. I kind of want a Quick Ball for another Arceus, though. Question is just, what do I get rid of? Maybe the Marnie, actually. Like, the energy is just good to have for basically as long as possible. We're trying to hold on to all of our energy. Or most of it. I guess some of it does start to get a little bit repetitive with that. 3 water in the deck. Yeah, as my opponent builds up to like a 1-hit KO mark, or 1-hit KO position, then we could look to get some Big Charms in play. Here we go. Trinity Nova. Hit 180. Search out a couple waters. Maybe actually all 3, actually. So the combo we can pull off, like I mentioned, is when we use the Charon's Care. And we're not going to be able to do it this time around, but on our future Charon's Cares, we're going to try and get the... try and get the Guru in play, and then the Guru kind of recycles the Arangaroo. The Arangaroo kind of recycles our water energy for us, puts it back in the deck, and then from there, search it back out and kind of repeat that process. And it's pretty sick. It's actually really, really sick that we can set up. Here comes the healing from my opponent. Of course, this was expected. All the Blissey decks play a ton of healing, but we play quite a bit of healing ourselves to kind of combat their healing. Suspicious Food Tin coming down. Okay, so I don't think we're going to be able to KO this thing next turn. So then the question just becomes, actually, how much... Oh my gosh, yeah, we're definitely not going to be able to KO this. Do we even want a Charon's Care, I think, is the question now. Because we don't have to Charon's Care every turn in this matchup. It's only when they're threatening a knockout on the next turn. So they're going to do, what, 130 this turn. And another powerful. I think they are threatening the 2-hit KO. Yeah, they're definitely threatening the 2-hit KO at this point. Maybe even the 1-hit KO on the following turn. How many energy are they going to get back? Just the Psychic? So that'd be 150. 200 on the next turn. 280 potentially. I think so. Not quite a knockout on the next turn, but they are getting pretty close, to be honest. I am a little bit scared. I am a little bit scared. They're getting close. Marnie. Definitely want to go with the Charon's Care. I think I should just Luminion for it, to be honest. And once again, save my Starbirth ability. Oh, I guess the one thing it doesn't seem like they play... What's it called, actually? We can actually attack with Luminion in this matchup, too, potentially. Maybe I should try and set up for that. With the Charon's Care. Put up an Arceus V. Evolve. Go ahead and capture out the Guru now. They are doing, what did I say, 150, 200 right now. So if they have an energy plus boss, but they haven't been playing like they have that kind of stuff available to them. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and Primate Wisdom. We can get rid of the water energy, and now I can search it back out with, and this is the combo that I was talking about. Hand's getting a little bit stuck, but yeah, Trinity Nova. Now I'm gonna search this water back out. I'm actually gonna throw it on. I'm gonna throw it on the Luminion, to be honest. Now we have that option of the Aqua Return to free up a bench space. We get access to Luminion again to potentially like help find, you know, Charon's Care or boss's orders later on, something like that. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and throw that down there. Get that option. Great option to have, to be honest. Yeah. They did get some card draw off the Lucky Energy, to be honest. So maybe I should have been a little bit more careful here with maybe getting a big charm for my benched Arceus V. I could have got a big charm for my bench Arceus V off that Starbirth. Maybe should have done that, to be honest. Here comes the pop again. This time it's a Tails. That's good for us anyways. Not great for my opponent, of course, but that's fine. What's good for us is good for us. There's a boss's order, so they can get a KO here. They go after my Luminion. Okay, I definitely need to try and V-Star my Arceus here. We are going to get the knockout here, and I think I will go ahead and Marnie my opponent before I take the knockout here as well, but this one is getting really close. This one's getting really, really close. For sure. All right. Arceus to the active. Charon's Care. Okay, build up a double turbo on the bench, and then play the Marnie. Maybe a little bit of disruption. They are kind of two boss away from winning the game because they can kind of just chase my bench Pokemon here, to be honest. They don't have to KO through the active. Off the active. Illusion Incense. Get another B-Barrel. Throw that down. Maybe we could have even Primate Wisdom before that, to be honest. Sizers. I have this Choice Belt in hand, but I don't really want to put it down. We need to find some Ultra Balls, to be honest, to kind of thin out the hand is what I'm like looking for at this point. I think go ahead and Choice Belt the active one here because we're probably going to Charon's Care at some point. I could throw down the Manaphy and then play the Collapse Stadium and then discard the Manaphy as well. Free up the hand a little bit more as well. And then Incisors once again. And once again, Ultra Balls. There we go. That is perfect. Ultra Ball. Move some of these dead cards along. Goodbye. Thank goodness. I don't really want anything off it, and I think that's fine. And then we're gonna go ahead and Primate Wisdom. Probably put the boss on top. I think that gives us the most options for the future. And once again, we still have Starbirth. We still have Starbirth. Another Ultra Ball is great. And then yeah, let's go with that Trinity Nova for the knockout. Nothing to grab off it, but that is fine. Get ourselves our first two prize cards. I don't know why I went for a third one there. I was like, all right, give me one more, please. B-Barrel, Ultra Ball, Air Balloon, and then the Choice Belt. powerful. Another thing to maybe try out in here, instead of the B barrels, Cincino could be the better move here, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. Cincino could be the better move. Okay, looks like a slow hand from my opponent, but could just be a lot of healing, to be honest. So how much? They're swinging for a lot right here, though. 4 energy, 120 plus 60, 180, 190. Yeah, they're basically KOing us. Oh, an Ultra Ball. I'm gonna get rid of the B barrel and one of these choice belts. Once again, I don't want a Star Birth. I think I have my other air balloon left. I'm just gonna check. We have a lot of DTEs we can use to switch as well. I'm gonna go and throw this on the Guru. And then incisors, draw some more cards. Quick ball. I think I'm just gonna give up on the Yveltal at this point. Grab a Bidoof. Definitely don't need that anymore. And I'll quick ball the Bidoof. I kind of want to keep that last Arceus. Well, I guess I'm not gonna put it in my hand anyways. Yeah, we'll get rid of the Bidoof. And I feel we have a lot of DTEs left, so I feel pretty comfortable putting this air balloon on the B barrel, and then drawing with the next B barrel, and then hopefully getting that. Yeah, there we go. Charon's Care. So what I say they were doing for damage? 120. Oh man, 120 plus 60, 70, 190. Oh no, if they have an energy and a boss. Oh no, my timer went out. What? It just started ticking. Oh, that is so unfortunate. Oh my gosh. There's another turbo or another powerful energy. Well, I don't know how this one would have ended, but I think my opponent's walking away with the dub here. That's so unfortunate. So 240 is what they could have hit for. So I would have probably Charon's Cared, hit with the choice belt, and then not bench another Arceus. But who knows how that one would have gone, because the timer decides to tick out on me. Super unfortunate. That was a close one there at the end. I wish we could have seen how that would have played out, though, if I'd been able to play that Charon's Care. But apparently the timer is a little bit further ahead of itself than it was. Oh, well, let's go ahead and let's get into another one. All right, getting to go first, looking for that Arceus and that energy to get ourselves going here and get ourselves set up for a turn to V-Star. We got the Arceus, got the energy, got the Ultra Ball. So pretty good draw here. Open the Arceus then. Probably hold on. Well, we'll probably be benching the Bidoof, to be honest. We're probably going to put in the Bidoof in play. Looks like we're up against Ice Rider. This one could be pretty tough, to be honest. Looks like they play their own collapsed stadium. So maybe I want to be aggressive with my collapsed stadium initially, because it looks like they're playing Inteleon to just kind of stop them from being able to put down too many Pokemon on their bench. Kind of limit them a little bit. Mulligan Draw as well to work with. Is it Water Energy? So that's the follow-up energy we'll be needing. Sobble Start. Now they might play something weird like Fan of Waves, so I think I'm going to open up. Yeah, I'll go with the Collapse Stadium. I'm going to go with the Water Energy, because they could be playing something weird like Fan of Waves. And if they get like a Torn Fan of Waves on my DTE, I mean, we could be in big trouble because of that. So I'm going to go with the Water Energy here instead. And I could have put the Big Charm down, which it's going to be good if Ice Rider gets a big one-hit KO, but it takes away the option of the Choice Belt. And Choice Belt actually allows us to get like a next turn we could be actually knocking out a Ice Rider V. And maybe their only Ice Rider V, which would be that much better. So that could be huge. It looks like they play more than just the Collapsed Stadium. They actually get rid of the Path to the Peak. Put it in play there actually would have been pretty good for my opponent, though, I think, because that would have taken away my Starbirth ability, and I just wouldn't be able to Starbirth next turn. But now I can Starbirth on my next turn, which is going to be a pretty big deal to have that option. Maybe they have another Path to the Peak in the hand, or maybe they're trying to keep around their Starbirth, but I feel like when they're that turn behind, you probably want to play it the other way, to be honest. But we'll see what else happens here. They actually go for a Sobble off the Quick Ball, and it looks like they're still going to go with like a Keep Calling. There's that Ice Rider, and that's what we want to make our main focus here. Oh, they're actually running to the Ice Rider, and then here comes a Melanie. Interesting so far. I mean, so they just want to hit me for 40? I guess that is pretty annoying, to be honest, because that does set up their next Ice Rider to kind of KO me. If they get one, they do have to put one in play. Sobble down, and then there's the Pierce, but now we can just go ahead and knock them out, actually. So I feel like it just like sets us up almost perfectly, to be honest. We're going to be in a great spot. We'll go ahead and Ultra Ball. I'm going to get rid of Research and capture, I guess. I mean, I guess I just lose my big charm here. I could put the big charm on a different Arceus. But then I would have to use my Starbirth right now, and I don't want to use my Starbirth until I kind of have to. But knowing that they play Pact at the Peak kind of makes me want to use the Starbirth now. Like, don't mind it. Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna have to use it anyways. Like, the chance that I draw into a choice belt is just kind of low. So this just gets me that value out of my big charm that I'm looking for. But I don't know. I don't love this play, to be honest. I'm gonna do it. Like, I'm doing it. I'm literally playing this out as we go. But I don't love it. To be honest, I don't love the play. But we're here now, so let's just kind of keep cruising. Evolution Incense. Let's find ourselves that B barrel. Throw down the B barrel. Throw down the B doof. Throw down the Guru. Draw one off the Incisors. And then let's go ahead and Primate Wisdom a Ordinary Rod, to be honest, because I don't think I'm going to need that anytime soon. Oof, drew a water. That's not great. And then Trinity Nova. Get this knockout on this Ice Rider, which is huge. I don't know why my opponent threw it in the active like that. Oh, a tad aggressive. And they're definitely getting punished here, I feel like, for that play for sure. And we got a boss to follow it up, so they don't have anything big they're going to be able to set up as a threat on this next turn. It's going to put us in a ridiculously good spot. First I was like, okay, the Pierce isn't terrible, because it'll make their follow-up knockout easier, especially if I do get a big charm on my Arceus. But I'm always going to go with the Choice Belt there. Anyways, for the scenario, I feel like, yeah. And now my opponent's definitely going to be in a rough spot. We'll see. We definitely want to, like, focus on, once again, targeting down Ice Riders. That's going to be our main focus here, is to target down Ice Riders. Should any more Ice Riders appear. We got the boss in the hand, so I'm ready to go. And if not, we probably want to just go ahead and hit the Arceus anyways. Like, we could probably just boss punch Arceus, to be honest, but ideally I want to be hitting that Ice Rider. If they're gonna put it on the bench this turn, if they don't put it on the bench, I might just be content with KOing the active Sobble, and then waiting to kind of go boss chase Ice Rider, then boss chase another Inteleon dude at some point as well, and that might become our kind of route to victory here. There's a Raihan take there. They might be able to do something pretty aggressive here, actually. So the Raihan's coming down. That gives them any one card out of the deck. I don't know what they would be going for off this. They might just be going for a Trinity Charge. Now, we actually can't one-hit KO this Arceus, because I did put this big charm here with the thought that I want this Arceus to be able to be protected from the potential of the Ice Riders. But to be honest, now that I'm kind of like looking at it and thinking about it, I probably should just discard this big charm. Not use the Trinity Birth the way I did. I think it would have left me in a little bit better spot overall. So I think I definitely messed that sequencing up a little bit. Or like that choice. Especially when we're like focusing the Ice Rider at that point. I think it puts us far ahead. We still have one more big charm left in the deck as well that we'll be able to find at some point and utilize. Yeah, we still have another big charm left in the deck that we will be able to find at some point to utilize. So I think I probably could have discarded this big charm. Leave open the option of the choice belt. Ooh, there comes a Fan of Waves. Ooh, we actually can't attack right now. That could be big. We could whiff the attack this turn. Definitely be a pretty big turn of events. Quick ball away the Manaphy. How much HP do I have left, actually? Don't really want anything there. How do I see my 240? So I don't think they can knock me. They could like double quick shooting. They could knock me out. It's just not super likely. I could go ahead and Primate Wisdom first, because if I get a Charons here, I could play the Charons, or DTE works great. And then I don't really want to play a Marnie because it gives them +1 card to work with. Of course, I don't know what their hand is, so I don't know how good it is. They did play a lot of cards last turn, so you know what, to be honest, it's a pretty good chance that their hand is pretty decent. So I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive with the Marnie, I guess, than overall. There's a pretty good chance that their hand is pretty decent, to be honest, because if they had it for a turn, they've been holding on to it. Decent shot that it's decent. Ultra Ball, going to get rid of the Lumineon and the Choice Belt. Grab myself a B barrel. Go ahead and get some more incisor action going on here. Or get some of our first incisor action going on here. Now we are looking for the Charon's Care at this point. Well, again, I want to keep the bosses, but to be honest, I think these energies can just kind of go. I know last game or the game before, I talked about kind of favoring keeping the energy around a little bit, but we have a lot of energy in the deck, to be honest. And at some point, oof, we drew into our water again here, so that's not great. Not a big deal, though, to be honest. Trinity Nova, take this knockout on this Sobble. No energy to grab, but that's not a big deal. And then we're hoping to draw into one of those Charon's Care on the next turn. Another Arceus V-Star. That's not that great either, to be honest. Now, we're still in a fine spot, though. And especially if they bench an Ice Rider this turn, you know, we can kind of chase that with one boss. Then we look for the second boss to kind of chase the next one. Things can get a little bit awkward depending on how much damage they do to this Arceus in terms of them just being able to do like a lot of quick shooting damage and then actually KOing this Arceus without attacking it twice. I really want them to attack this Arceus twice. Really, really would like to have them attack the Arceus twice, to be honest. So that's what we want to happen. What will actually happen is, well, what we're going to see is what actually happens. So that's what we want, but we don't know if that's what's actually going to happen here. We will see. That would be ideal if they attack this thing twice. So I mean, if they could get the quick shooting out this turn, they get the choice belt out, and it could get to the point where they definitely could just like kind of hit it once and then a bunch of quick shootings later on. There's the choice belt, like I mentioned. Choice belt could happen. There's choice belt. There's a quick ball. So that quick ball is probably going to grab them a low ball as well. The Ice Rider V. The quick ball is gonna probably grab the Ice Rider V, and then they will have to see if they find that DTE. I guess they could also go with like a Melanie route though. Oh no, there's no water in the discard pile, so Melanie not an option. Oh, but they still have Starbirth, of course. They still have Starbirth, so they're gonna be all fine to find the cards they need. Yeah, with the Starbirth, they should be just fine. They'll be able to get their DTE, and then you know probably some form of a draw supporter. They haven't played their supporter yet for turn. I guess I could see a boss's orders going down, but with 6 prize cards left, knocking out my active seems like probably their best course of action. And then, like I said, I'm going to look for that boss KO on their Ice Rider into boss KO. Boss KO the Ice Rider into boss KO. Just anything on that bench. Any of these 1 prize Pokemon. They might play Scoop Up Net, but I doubt they're going to be able to play enough Scoop Up Nets to get them all out of play. There's the quick shooting. So like I said, they can start to stack up that damage. Like we have, what, 240 HP left? If they don't bench anything this turn, hitting the active is just fine, though. And then we can go with a Charon's Care. Ideally, do a Charon's Care as well. Boss KO quick shooting would be okay as well. But let's see what the quick shooting. Let's see where the quick shooting goes. 20 to the active. Do 20 HP left. They're going to be doing to 10. So they're currently 10 damage short from the knockout. So yeah, we might go with, if we don't get the Charon's Care, going boss KO on the quick shooting Inteleon is probably the way to go. For sure. And yeah, they don't bench anything. They just attach the energy to the active. See, we top deck. It is a research. Definitely don't need that. We'll go ahead and quick ball that away. Fail. And then attach the capture here. Industrious Incisors for 1 into an Ultra Ball. I don't really want to... Do I have my Ordinary Rod left, actually? I actually might. I do, and I'm pretty sure I saw it earlier, so I'm actually fine to go ahead and Ultra Ball away the V-Star and the energy, because we will be able to Ordinary Rod at some point. I'm going to check right here to make sure, but I'm pretty sure it is in here. Yep, there it is. So we can recover those later, along with the water energy. Incisors, again, because I would like to use... Not any of those. Those are not the ones. So we might go for that boss on the quick shooting here, which I said is what I said. So it's pretty good, but I'd like to use Charon's Care if possible. Go ahead and Primate Wisdom the Marnie, I guess, and let's see if we get that Charon's here. No Charon's, but yeah, the boss KO on the quick shooting Inteleon is just fine. And then we have another Arceus for the next turn. Let's go ahead and hold, or I could play the Ordinary Rod. We could cover the water energy, the Arceus. And maybe just those two. Seems fine to me. Arceus, water. Done. Not going to search out the water energy this turn. I want to be able to search it out next turn with this Arceus to the next Arceus. And then just Trinity Nova for the KO here. And yeah, I even still have 2 DTE left. Yeah, so leave that in the deck. And if we do draw into it on the next turn, we can go ahead and Primate Wisdom it. But yeah, this forces our opponent to attack again. Because we don't know if this quick shooting could still be relevant somewhere later on. It still might force our opponent to play the game one more turn if we don't KO this quick shooting Inteleon. But we know if we KO this quick shooting Inteleon, they won't be able to quick shooting next turn. Which means if they do want to knock out this Arceus next turn, they have to attack into it again, which is one more turn for them to get 2 prize cards. Which is overall just kind of slow, right? So that's what we're playing towards here. That's why we're playing it like this, as opposed to, you know, just hitting their active and going from there. We're going to go ahead and play a little bit slower. And there's actually a Luminion now coming down to the bench. Looks like they don't have a whole ton going on in the hand as far as draw power goes. So now we can actually just focus down that Luminion and make that our last 2 prize cards, unless our opponent's able to get it out of play. But I don't think they'll be able to. So the only thing I'm afraid of here would be, or the only thing that could prevent us here from KOing the Luminion would be Marnie. And there's the Marnie. Okay, but we have double B-Barrel in play plus the Guru, so we have a good chance to see a lot of cards on this next turn. And yeah, we're going to be in a pretty good spot, I think. We need to find that other Arceus now as well. Oof, this hand is not going to be seeing very many cards, to be honest. Now that I'm looking at this hand, we're probably going to have to go with an attack on the active. And then try and find our Arceus V. Got a couple quick balls left, and we've got a capture energy left to find it. Yeah, goodbye Arceus V-Star. Now I thought I was going to have to be going now. They still have yet to get another Ice Rider in play. All right, our Arceus has been taken care of. Go ahead and send up Arceus. And then probably draw and then play Marnie. Unless we top deck a way to like shuffle our deck. We did. So I'm going to go ahead and fail it. And then I can B-Barrel for 1 here. I think I'm fine with that. B-Barrel for 1 here. We did get the Arceus, so that's a pretty good hit, actually, overall. We can go ahead and throw that down. I could even attach the DTE. And now we can actually B-Barrel for 2. Why not? And if we do get the boss, we could win this turn. All right, we did not get it. I'm going to go ahead and Primate Wisdom as well, actually, even. Put a Charon's Care on top. That'll be a good option to have next turn if we do end up playing the Marnie. But if we get the boss, did not get the boss. So now we'll go with the Marnie here. Get some new cards. Disrupt our opponent's hand a little bit. Potentially have the boss for the next turn. It puts some water energy on the bottom of the deck as well, which we can now search out with that Trinity. Okay, Big Charm, Air Balloon. So I'm going to throw one of these Air Balloons down. I'm going to throw the other Big Charm in play as well. I'll keep hold of one of the Air Balloons just in case. And now Trinity Nova for a big hit of 200. We just search for this water energy and throw it on the Arceus V-Star. And still, once again, looking like we're in a really good spot. We're in a really good spot here. Looking good. It's a quick ball from my opponent. Gonna get rid of their Collapsed Stadium. Yeah, we got the boss in the hand. Now, my opponent could play some kind of healing. I don't know if they do or don't, to be honest. But we got some healing to work with. They got a lot of 2 prize Pokemon in play already that they have to worry about. They're putting another one in play. We can't one-hit KO the Arceus, unfortunately, but a Training Court as well. So they play a whole mix of stadiums here. A Training Court, Path to the Peak, Collapse Stadium. Yeah, a whole mix of stadiums here. But yeah, I feel like we're just in a really good spot. We're in a very commanding spot overall. Retreat to the bench. Looks like Luminion might be their attacker here. They'll hitting us for what, 120, and then it returns. They actually got the boss, so they're actually gonna go chase probably one of my B-Barrels here. Actually, take that out of play. Lower the chance of me finding boss on my turn. Of course, we have the boss in the hand. Actually, they target the Oranguru as the thing they want to take a knockout on. That is super interesting. Yeah, they target my Oranguru instead. Water energy down to the Arceus V-Star on the bench. 120, but yeah, we got the boss, so this one is all but over. In the end, the cheeky Luminium play at the end, not going to be enough. And we're going to go ahead and send up our Arceus V-Star. And then we've got the boss KO their Arceus V-Star and close this one out here. Yeah, the Ice Rider is like what we had to worry about. We dealt with that early on. Didn't have to worry about it anymore. But that's kind of like where my opponent definitely gains the advantage in this matchup. And our advantage to be gained is definitely through the Charon's Care. Which we actually didn't utilize, but we were able to put on so much pressure so aggressively that we didn't really need to. But should have ever come down to it, the Charon's Care was definitely there to help us out if we ever needed it. Just didn't come up to being necessary this game, and that's it. Dub here in the Arceus Mirror match, or Arceus Mirror. It's not really a mirror match. on the Arceus matchup. There's gonna be a lot of Arceus matchups that are not mirror matches where Arceus ends up being the main attacker, though, that's for sure. And if you guys enjoyed the games, be sure to give the video a like. If you're enjoying the content, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell, and I'll see you tomorrow.